Hi everyone, welcome back. From today onwards, I'm going to remake all the videos in English so that you can improve your listening skills. So please watch this video without skipping, okay? In today's class, I'm going to explain the 6 uses of be forms. Actually, these be forms are found everywhere in English. They function as a main verb, as a helping verb. We can use this be form along with infinitive too, and we can also use this be form as a gerund. Apart from this, we can use these be forms in imperative and subjunctive sentences. In today's lesson, I'm going to explain all these structures in detail, okay? But before that, do we really need be forms? Can't we speak or write without be forms? Let's check that out. See, we have 24 tenses, right? 12 active voice and 12 passive voice. Out of this 24, how many tenses do you think that you can speak without using be forms? At least 20 or 15 or at least half of them, 12? Can we speak at least 12 tenses without using be forms? The answer is no. See, out of all these 24 tenses, for all passive voices, we need be forms. See, I marked them in red. See, for all these passive voices, we need be forms. It means we can't speak any passive voice without using be forms. So out of this 24, these 12 are gone. Now even in this remaining 12 tenses, for all continuous tense, whether it is present perfect, past perfect, future, for all continuous tenses, whether it is present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, or present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, or future perfect continuous, for all continuous tenses we need be forms. So out of this 12, again 6 are gone. Now we are left with 6 tenses. Okay, in these 6 tenses also, whenever we are speaking about adjectives, okay, if I want to say someone is rude, I must say he is rude. Here also is a be form. When we are talking about past, he was happy, he will be angry. Here was and be, they are also be forms. So it means we even can't use simple tense, whether it is simple present, simple past, or simple future. We can't speak all the sentences without be form. Whenever we are using any adjective or any noun, like he is a teacher, at that time we must use be forms. So now we are left with 3 tenses. What are those? Present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. So we can speak only 3 tenses without using be forms. So be forms are very important. In today's lesson, I'm going to explain all these be forms, and by the end of this lesson, you will gain a deeper understanding of how these be forms work, and you'll start noticing them in a way you have never done before. So get ready to see English from a whole new perspective. See, we have total 8 be forms, okay? First one is be. Whenever we are using infinitive or any imperative sentences, we use this base form be. See, like this, I want to be happy, okay, to be. And when we are talking about any present tense, for the subject I, we use am, I'm here. For the subject he, she, it, we use is as a be form. He is tall, she is tall, it is tall. And for the remaining subjects, you, we, they, we use or as a be form. Okay, you are ready, we are ready, they are ready. And when we are talking about any past tense, for subjects I, he, she, it, we use was as a be form. I was tired, he was tired, she was tired, it was tired. And for the remaining subjects, you, we, they, we use were as a be form. Okay, you were late, we were late, they were late. And we have 2 more be forms. Those are participle forms. One is present participle, being. See this, he is being careful. Whenever we are talking about any continuous activity, okay, we use this being. And we have one more be form, that is past participle form, that is being. Okay, I have been busy, or I have been arrested. Okay, and apart from this, we have 2 more be forms. See, these be forms we use whenever we are making any subjunctive sentences. See, generally, what did I say? We use be when we are talking about any infinitive or imperative sentences. But generally, see, to say someone is quiet, we say he is quiet, right? For the subject he, she, it. For present it is. For past it is was. But see here, I suggest that he be quiet. Instead of is or was, I used be. Why? Because this is a subjunctive sentence. I'm going to explain it later. And apart from this, whenever we are making any imaginary sentences, see, generally for the subject I, for present it is am, for past it is was, right? So I must say if I am you or if I was you. But here I say if I were you, I would help her. See, we say like this, if I were a bird, I would fly. Why did we say were? Because this is an imaginary sentence. So I'm going to explain how we should use were for all subjects for future and present later in this video. Okay. See, but before that, let's see why should we use these be forms. See, I call him. This sentence is in simple present. She calls him. This is in this sentence is also in simple present. If I inflict this verb, it becomes she called him. Now this sentence is in simple past. How did you identify? Just by seeing the verb. Whenever the subject is in its base form or third person singular form, I mean whenever the subject is in V1 or V5, then we say that the sentence is in simple present and the subject is in its past form. I mean V2, we say that the sentence is in simple past tense, right? But what about this sentence? She angry. Is this in simple present? And she angered. Is this in simple past? No. Actually, see, call is a verb, right? So it has verb forms, and by seeing the verb form, we can identify the tense. If the verb is V1 or V5, we say that the sentence is in simple present. And if the sentence, if the verb is in past form, then we say that the V2, then we say that the sentence is in simple past tense. But angry is not a verb, it's an adjective. Only verb has verb forms. By seeing the verb forms, we can identify the tense. Since angry is not a verb, we can't identify whether we are talking about present or past. How can you say that a person is angry at present? You must use a be form. So see, she angry, there is no tense. But if I put any present be form, it becomes simple present. She's angry. Now it has a tense. What is that? Simple present tense. She angry. It has no tense. But if I use any past be form, it becomes simple past. See, she was angry. Okay. For future we say she will be angry. So without this be forms, we can't identify tense whenever we are not using V1, V5 or V2. Okay. So to indicate or to identify the tense, we use this be forms. Did you get my point? Now let's see how these be forms work as a main verb. See, they swim. Can you identify the tense? This is subject. After that we placed V1. This is in simple present. So do we need to place any be form? Should we say they are swim? We don't need to say, because we already identify the tense. This is in simple present tense. And if I say they swam, V2. So this sentence is in simple past tense. I'm able to identify the tense. So I don't need to place any be form. But what about this? He there. Can you identify the tense? No, right? So for that reason, place is for present, was for past. Okay, he is there, present. He was there, past. And she beautiful. Can you identify the tense? Can we say she beautiful for simple past? No. So for that reason, if you are talking about present, use present be form. She is beautiful. If you are talking about past, use past be form. She was beautiful. If you are talking about future, use will be. She will be beautiful. Okay. I a teacher. Can you identify the tense? No. Right. So if you are a teacher right now, say I'm a teacher. If you were a teacher in the past and you are no longer a teacher, then say I was a teacher. Okay. It 10:30 a.m. Can you identify the tense? No, right? So for present use, it is 10:30 a.m. For past use, it was 10:30 a.m. For future, say it will be 10:30 a.m. And in all these sentences, See, there is no verb. There is not a verb. Beautiful, it's not a verb. A teacher is not a verb. 10:30 a.m. is not a verb. Since there is no verb, this be form acts as a main verb. Okay, did you get my point? If there is no verb, then the be form acts as a main verb. That's why we call them main verb. Okay, and as I said, for the subject I, he, she, it, you must use was. For the remaining subjects, use were for past. And so like this, I was happy, she was happy, it was happy, like this. And if the subject, and see, for present, for the subject I, use am. For the subjects you, we, they, use are. For the remaining subjects he, she, it, use is as a be form. I am gloomy, you are gloomy, he is gloomy, like this. Okay, now see, this is very important. Whenever we use base form, then we say that the sentence is in simple present. I write a letter. Do I need to say I am write a letter? I don't need, because write itself subject V1 plus object simple present. In the same way, whenever we are using third person singular verb, she writes a letter, this is also in simple present. And if I use any past simple form, then the sentence also would be in simple past. Okay, she wrote a letter, I wrote a letter, they wrote a letter, right? Here we are able to identify the tense and we don't need to place any be form. But what about remaining two verb forms? We have 5 verb forms, right? V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. What about this? They are called participle forms. One is past participle form, which is V3. Second one is present participle form, which is V4. What about this? Can we use them without be forms? Can I say a letter written or he written? No, I can't say. Whenever you are using any participle form, you must place a be form or have form. See, you can't say a letter written. Either you can use a letter is written, or if you are talking about any active voice, you can say he has written a letter. Okay, either you can say he is written a letter or he has written a letter is written or he has written a letter. Okay, so whenever you are using any past participle form, you must either use a be form or have form or both. But you can't use without any be form. Of course, we can use participle phrases like a letter written today will be posted tomorrow, like this, but that is different. When I'm explaining participle phrases, I'm going to explain that. Right here, just focus on the be forms. Okay, and what about present participle? Can I say he writing? No, I can't say. For present, see, when it comes to past participle, you can either use be form or have form or both. When it comes to present participle, you must use a be form, like this. He is writing. Okay, he is writing a letter, like that. So these participle forms, they don't have any tense. Okay, they don't have any tense. Only be form indicates the tense. I'll show you an example. See, whenever we use be form plus V3, see this sentence. He writes a letter, simple present. He wrote a letter, simple past. A letter written, is this a past tense, simple past, or present perfect tense? What is the tense of this? It has no tense. Okay, if I use any present be form like this, a letter is written. See, he writes a letter is the active voice, and the passive voice of this would be a letter is written. How? I just placed be form in between the subject. Here the subject is the receiver of the action and verb third form. So it becomes, a letter is written. If I so this sentence is in simple past, simple present tense. If I use any past be form, then it becomes simple past tense. A letter was written. If I use any continuous be form, present continuous be form, then it becomes a letter is being written. Now this is present continuous tense in passive voice. What about this past continuous tense? A letter was being written. See, in all this, I even can use for future. A letter will be written. Now this is simple future tense. So see, here verb is same, written. But here this is simple present tense, simple past tense, present continuous tense. All these are in passive voice. Past continuous, simple future. See, all these are in passive voice. Why? Because we used be form plus V3. whenever we use be form plus verb in its past participle form, then we say that the sentence is in passive voice. Okay, and see, if I say, and all these are helping verbs. See, if I say she is beautiful, here beautiful is not a verb, right? That's why we said that is the main verb. But here we have a verb, written, but still this verb is unable to indicate the tense. That's why we used be forms, and since these be forms are helping this main verb, we call them either auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Okay, so all these are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Now let's see. See, here I used be form plus V3. What if I use have plus V3? If I use have plus V3, then all the sentences would be in active voice. See, if I say a letter is written, it means someone else writes a letter every day. See, he writes a letter every day, and the passive voice of that sentence would be a letter is written every day. So here a letter is the receiver of the action. But if I say, but can I say he written a letter? I can't say. Either I can say he writes a letter for simple present, he wrote a letter for simple past, but I can't say he written a letter. Either, what did I say? Either I can use a be form or have form. Be form for passive voice, have form for active voice. See, if you are talking about present perfect, you can say he has written a letter. Now this is a present perfect tense in active voice. Who wrote the letter? He has written the letter. So who has written the letter? He has written the letter. So he is the doer of the action, a letter is the receiver of the action. But when it comes to passive voice, the subject would be the receiver of the action. Means the action of writing is being done on this letter here. This letter is done every day on this letter here. The action of writing was done on this letter in the past. So here a letter, in all this, a letter, I mean the subject is the receiver of the action. But if I use any have plus V3, here subject is the doer of the action. He wrote the letter. Okay, he wrote the letter, but we stated the sentence in present perfect tense. We can also say in past perfect tense like this. He had written a letter. Now who wrote the letter? He. But we stated in past perfect tense. We just changed the tense, but here the subject is the doer of the action. Why? Because this structure is have plus V3, not be plus V3. See, can I say I requested her? Yes, I can say. See, written is an irregular verb, right? Request is a regular verb. We can say that it is a V2, right? V2 and V3 for request is same. Requested. If I say I requested her, here who did the action of requesting? I. Okay, the subject did. Okay, he. Here I went to her and I requested her. So the action of requesting has been done by me. Can I use have? Yes, I can use. I have requested her. Here also this is an active voice. Means who requested her? I requested her. I went to her and I have requested her. This sentence is also in active voice, and here the subject I is the doer of the action. I mean the action of requesting is being done by I. Okay, but if I say I was requested, here who requested? Did I request her? No, actually I was requested by someone else. So someone else requested me. I'm the receiver of the action, and since I used be form plus V3, here subject is the receiver of the action, not the doer of the action. This sentence is in passive voice. I was requested by someone else. Okay, someone else requested me. The passive voice of it would be I was requested, or I have been requested, or I am being requested, like this. Okay, and see this, the police arrested him. Here is this be form plus V3? No, this is just subject plus V2. So this is an active voice. Who arrested him? Police. So doer of the action. Police is the doer of the action. If I place have or had, still it would be in active voice. Who arrested him? The police. Okay, here also the police is the doer of the action. But can I say like this? A letter had written? Of course I can say if a letter has the capability to write. in cartoon channels you can see a letter writing something. Okay, a letter can write something. There you can see, in that situation you can say a letter had written. If you see that Aladdin movie, there a mat can clean. Can we say a mat is cleaning? We can say in that situation. But here, can I say a letter had written? If the letter has the capability to write, I can say, but since letter doesn't have that capability, I must use a be form. And how can I, I must use a passive voice. How can I change this to passive voice? Just by placing a be form. See, a letter had been written. Now, see, though we have form, since we used a be form, now this sentence becomes passive voice. If I remove this been, active voice. If I place this been, be form, now this sentence is in passive voice. So whenever you see be form plus V3, then the sentence would be in passive voice. Did you get my point? Okay. Now let's say this example. He is cooking the meals. See, have you noticed any be form here? No, right? So this sentence is in active voice. Who is cooking? He. He is the doer of the action, and the meals is the receiver of the action. How to change it to passive voice? It's so simple. Just place the receiver of the action in subject place, and see, be. Use be in the same tense as the active verb. What is the active verb here? Cooking. And then use V3. Okay, cooking. What is the V3 form of cooking? Cooked. See, it should be like this. The meals are. We must use are, because see, this sentence, this tense should be same as the active verb. Here, what is the tense? Is cooking. So instead of is cooking, this is a present be form, right? Here also you must use present be form. Since the meals is a plural noun, use are. Since this is a present be form, are. Otherwise, if it is singular, you can use is. Okay, then be form in the same tense as active verb. What is the active verb? Cooking. Now use be form in the same verb. This is in participle tense. So use participle be form. Then the sentence would be the meals are being. Now use this verb in its past participle form. Cooked. The meals are being cooked. See, if you remove this, see, till this, all this, the meals are being is in continuous tense, but we use it instead of cooking, we use it be as a main verb. Okay, till this. After that, we place the verb in its past participle form. Though, so the sentence would be the meals are being cooked. Okay, see this. See another example. He has cooked a duck. Now, what is the passive voice of this? Can I say he has been cooked? I can say if someone else has cooked him. Okay, see. The sentence would be like this. They have cooked him. Okay, the passive voice of they have cooked him would be he has been cooked. Here, who has been cooked? He. But I want to say a duck has been cooked, so I can't use he. Here, he is the doer of the action. I can't use doer of the action in subject's place in passive voice. Here, the subject would be receiver of the action. What is the receiver of the action? A duck. So it should be like this. A duck. After that, same. What did I say? Be form should be in the same tense as active verb. Here it is in present perfect, right? So use this perfect be form, that is has, and use be form in its active verb. Here verb is in its past participle form. So use be in its past participle form. It would be a duck has been. Now use this verb in its past participle form. Cooked. A duck has been cooked. Now this sentence is in present perfect tense but in passive voice. Okay, this sentence is also in present perfect but active voice. This sentence is also in present perfect but this sentence is in passive voice. So whenever you use a passive voice, you will definitely see a be form plus V3. Okay, did you get my point? Now let's see some more examples to understand what is the doer of the action and what is the receiver of the action. See, if I say the thief had arrested, who had arrested? Did I use any be form plus V3? No, right? Have form plus V3. What did I say? Whenever we use have plus V3, then the subject would be the doer of the action. So who performed the action of arresting? He. The thief had arrested someone else. Okay, but generally what happens? Do thieves arrest someone else, or thieves will be arrested by someone else? Thieves will be arrested by someone else. But the passive voice of that in past perfect tense would be the thief had been arrested. We must use be form. Okay, so we must place in between have and past participle form. So it would be the thief had been arrested. Now you saw be plus v3. Now this thief is the receiver of the action, means someone else had arrested him. Him means thief. Someone else had arrested the thief. So the passive voice of that would be the thief had been arrested. Can I say the girl has kidnapped? I can say the thief has kidnapped her, because thieves can kidnap, right? They do kidnap. But can I say the girl has kidnapped? Of course, I can say if a girl really kidnapped someone else. Here, the girl is the doer of the action. She performed the act of kidnapping someone. If it happened, I can say the girl has kidnapped, or the girl kidnapped someone else. But what if she has been kidnapped? Then I should not say the girl has been kidnapped. I must use be form plus v3. So it should be the girl has been kidnapped. Now the girl is the receiver of the action. Did you get my point? Whenever you use have plus v3, then here the subject is the doer of the action. Whenever you use be plus v3, here the subject is the receiver of the action, means the act of kidnapping has been happened on the girl. Okay, she hasn't kidnapped anyone else. Someone else has kidnapped her. Did you get my point? So whenever you see be form plus past participle form, then the subject will be the receiver of the action, and whenever you see have form plus v3, the subject would be the doer of the action. You must remember this. Okay, now let's see present participle. See, can we say he writing a letter? Can we say he writing a letter? We can say he writes a letter. We can say he wrote a letter. We can say he has written a letter. But we can't say he writing a letter. Of course, when you are using any participle phrase, there you can use, but here we are talking about be forms. So you can't say he writing a letter. You must use a be form. If you are talking about present activity, use he is writing a letter. If see, he is writing a letter is a active voice. A letter is being written is a passive voice. Here, if you see, verb is in its v3 form. Okay, not written v plus ing form. Being, here be form is in continuous form but not verb. So that's why you can't make any present participle form in passive voice. You can't write any present participle form in passive voice. I mean, you can't see any passive voice with its verb in ing form. Okay, you can't see being writing. Okay, you can see only v3 whenever you're talking about passive voice. Okay, see, if I use past any past be form, he was writing a letter or he will be writing a letter. So all this would be in active voice. Whenever you see verb plus ing, all this would be in active voice. Either it would be a present continuous tense or present perfect continuous tense, past continuous tense or past continuous tense, future continuous tense or future perfect continuous tense. All this continuous tense would be in active voice. Okay, wherever you see verb plus ing. So there won't be any passive voice. You can't see any passive voice with verb plus ing. Okay, see, as I said, hearing the news, she started crying. Here, hearing the news, this is not this is a participle phrase. Okay, here you don't need to place any helping verb like here. Okay, this is different. While I'm explaining or while I'm making video on participle phrases, I'm gonna explain this. Okay, past participle and present participle. Here, just focus on be form. Now let's see infinitive and gerund. See, I'm gonna explain these two simultaneously because these both are almost same. I can't say completely same, they're almost same. Okay, see, apples are good for health. Can I say that? Yes, I can say. Here, apples is a noun, right? What if an activity is good for health? For example, running. Running is good for health, right? Can I say run every day is good for health? No, I can't say. Here, run is a verb. Okay, it's not a noun. See, here apples is a noun, so I can say apples are good for health. So it is subject plus verb plus object. But whenever you have to place a noun in a verb in a noun's position, then you must change that to either infinitive or gerund. What is gerund? See, running every day is gerund. Okay, here run every day, instead of v1 I place it verb in its present participle form, and then I used adverb of frequency. Run every day, no, running every day. Or I can use infinitive. How to make this infinitive phrase? See, he runs every day. This is a normal tense. You take any tense, whether it is simple present, simple past, present perfect, past perfect, or even their passive voice. You just remove the subject and place to. To is the infinitive. Place to, then it becomes a infinitive phrase. But there is a problem. After infinitive, the verb next to it must be in its base form. I mean in its v1 form. Here runs is third person singular. I mean v5. It is not v1. So change that runs to run. To run everywhere. Now running every day and to run every day, they both can work as a noun. Okay, now they both are nouns. They are nouns. Okay, see, I can say running every day is good for health, or to run every day is good for health. You might have heard to err is human, right? There to err means that is an infinitive. Okay, but we used it in the subject's place. So whenever you form a or you see a infinitive or gerund, you can place them in subject's place or object's place. You can use them as a noun. Okay, here run every day is not a noun. Okay, and you can't say run every day is good for health. Instead you can say running every day is good for health, gerund or infinitive form. To run every day is good for health. Here running every day and to run every day, these two are nouns. We can use these either in subject's place or in object's place. See one more example. He plays cricket. What is the infinitive form of this? What did I say? We must remove subject and place to. So it should be to plays cricket. What did I say? After infinitive, the verb must be in its base form. So remove this place and place a play. Okay, to play cricket. Now this is an infinitive. This is a infinitive. Or I can use a gerund, playing cricket. Either I can say to play cricket or playing cricket. Both work as noun. See, she is polite. What about this? What did we do? We removed the subject and place to. Here also we should do the same. Remove the subject and place to. But here is not a base form. The base form of all be forms is, am, are, was, were, being, been, is, be. So you must say to be polite. If I say to play cricket or playing cricket, it means in Telugu cricket addam. If I say to be polite means polite ga undadam. Now you can use and what is the gerund form of this? Being. See here, play, to play cricket we removed to and used ing form. Okay, then it became playing cricket. Okay, in the same way just remove to and use this be form in continuous or past participle form, then it becomes being polite. Now this is a gerund. Now you can place this gerund or infinitive phrase in place of a subject or object. See like this. He hates. See, if he hates him is a noun, pronoun. Okay, so it's in object's place. It's generally a noun. Okay, but we use pronoun instead of noun. What if you hate an activity? Suppose playing cricket, you can say I hate playing cricket. Or what if you hate being polite? You can say he hates being polite. If the subject is I, say I hate being polite. If the subject is he, say he hates being polite. Or you can even use infinitive. He hates to be polite. Okay, there is a small difference between these two, but I'm gonna explain when I'm making video on infinitive and gerund. Okay, here since I'm talking about be forms, I'm not explaining everything. So you can either use in subject's place or object's place. This gerund and infinitive, these two acts as a noun. Okay, let's see some more examples. To swim is good for health. Is this correct? Correct. Why? See, as I said, apples are good for health. There, apple is a noun. In the same way, 2 plus V1 is also a noun. To swim every day is good for health. And what did I say? We can also use a gerund. How to make a gerund? Just remove this 2 and place verb plus ing form. So it would be swimming is good for health. Both are correct. Both means to swim is good for health. Swim చేయడం health కి మంచిది. Swimming is good for health. Swim చేయడం health కి మంచిది. But there's a small difference. As I said, I'm going to explain that later. Okay. To be kind is important. What is important? To be kind. దయగా ఉండడం అనేది important. Or I can use gerund. What is gerund? Remove this 2, place be plus ing. Then it would be being kind is important. దయగా ఉండడం అనేది important. Or being honest is always the best choice. Here this is a gerund. Can I use infinitive? Yes, you can use infinitive. You can say to be honest. To be honest is always the best choice. Okay. Being a doctor requires years of study. What requires years of study? Being a doctor. Can I use infinitive? Yes, you can use infinitive. To be a doctor requires years of study. So in this way, either you can use infinitive or gerund in place of subject or object. You can use a verb in this way as a noun. Now let's see what is continuous tense. Okay, see, he works. It means he works every day. I'm talking about his daily routine. Okay, but what is this? He is working. This is a temporary action. Whenever I say he works, I'm talking about his routine. But whenever I say he is working, I'm talking about his temporary action. Okay, the action that is being done by him temporarily. Okay, so if I can say he is rude, but what does it mean? If I say he is rude, I'm saying that he always behaves rudely. Okay, if someone's behavior is rude and it is continuously rude throughout his tenure, then we say he is rude. So it's a permanent behavior. But generally the person is not rude, but since we bicker over something, he started behaving rudely. So can I say he is rude? He's not rude. Generally for the past couple of days he's behaving rudely. There I can't say he is rude. If I say he is rude, I'm talking about his permanent behavior. For temporary behavior, we must use be form in its ing form like this. That is not he is rude. It must be he is being rude. Whenever we're talking about any temporary behavior, if it is a verb, then we must use subject plus is am or plus verb plus ing. If it is any adjective, then we must use subject plus is am or for present and being plus that adjective. He is being rude. Okay, he is being honest. In this way, see, he never says thank you. He never says. I'm talking about his permanent behavior. Then should I say he is being rude or he is rude? I must say he is rude because he always behaves like this. Okay, I'm talking about his permanent behavior. But if I say he is usually polite, but today I'm talking about a temporary tenure. So I can't say he is usually polite, but today he is rude. I can't say today he is rude. I must say but today he is being rude. Whenever someone's action is temporary, we must use continuous tense. Okay, here I should not say he is rude. Okay, if I say he is rude, I'm talking about his permanent behavior. See some more examples. My brother is being lazy. What's the difference between my brother is lazy, my brother is being lazy? Here I'm talking about temporary behavior. Okay, if I say my brother is lazy, that is his permanent characteristic. But if only today he is behaving lazily, then I must say my brother is being lazy. Okay, he is being stubborn about his decision. Here also that characteristic is temporary. Okay, she is being careful while handling the glass. I'm talking about her action while she is handling the glass. At that time only she was being careful. Okay, I'm talking about temporary behavior. The dog is being aggressive towards strangers. Am I talking about the dog's permanent behavior or temporary behavior? Temporary behavior. only now it is being aggressive, otherwise it's not an aggressive dog. Okay, so this is a temporary behavior. Okay, now let's see imperative sentences. What are imperative sentences? Whenever we request or whenever we give command to someone else, we use this imperative sentences. We use verb in its base form, okay, without any subject. Go there, come here, help her. All are imperative sentences. See, if I put any subject before it, he goes there. What is this sentence? This is an assertive sentence. Here we are giving information. He goes there. Atanu akkadiki veltadu. But if I remove this subject and place the verb in its base form, then it becomes go there. Akkadiki vellu. I'm sorry. So this is an assertive sentence. It gives information. Go there. This is an imperative sentence. It instructs someone. Okay. What about this? He comes here. Atanu ikkadiki vastadu. If I remove subject and place verb in its base form, it becomes come here. See, this is an assertive sentence. He comes here. Atanu ikkadiki vastadu. Come here. Ikkadiki ra. This is an imperative sentence. What did we do? We removed the subject and placed verb in its base form. What about this? He is here. What is the imperative sentence to this? What should we do? We should remove this subject. He. Then we must place this verb in its base form. What is the base form of is, am, are, was, were? It is be. So it would be he is here would be here. He is here. Atanu ikkada unnadu. Be here. Akkada undu. So in this way we use be in imperative sentences. See some more examples. He is polite. Remove subject, place verb in its base form. So it would be polite. He is polite. Atanu polite ga untadu. Be polite. Polite ga undu. We are giving some instruction. Okay. He is careful. Atanu careful ga untadu. Be careful. Careful ga undu. He is honest with me. Atanu nato honest ga untadu. Be honest with me. Nato honest ga undu. He is my friend. Atanu na friend. Be my friend. Na friend ga undu. He is a good leader. Atanu oka good leader. If I remove subject and place a verb in its base form, it would be a good leader. Good leader ga undu. In this way, we use be in imperative sentences. So the meaning would be polite ga undu, careful ga undu, nato honest ga undu, na friend ga undu, good leader ga undu. Ila undu ane ardham istundi. Okay. Now let's see how these be forms are used in subjunctive or hypothetical or unreal conditions. See, generally if the subject is I and we are talking about any past, we say like this: I was a teacher. It means you were a teacher in the past. Okay, but what about this? If I were a bird, I would fly. Okay, you might have seen this sentence, right? Why did we use were instead of was? What did I say? If the subject is I, he, she, it, for past we must use was, not were, right? But here instead of was I used were. Why? And here I am talking about either present or future. Why? Because this is a subjunctive sentence. Okay, whenever we are making any hypothetical or unreal conditions or statements, instead of was, okay, for present and future we use were for all the subjects. Okay, irrespective of subject. If it is I, he, she, it, for all subjects we use were instead of was. It would be like this: if I were you, nenu nuvaite, I would take the job. Nenu aa job తీసుకుంటా. If I were you, not if I am you, not if I was you. Okay, it should be if I were you. Or you even can say were I you, నేను నువ్వు అంటే I would help her. I'm sorry, ఆమెకి హెల్ప్ చేసేవాడిని. Okay, in this way we use this were in subjunctive sentences. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.